Hi everyone. The innovation I will be talking about is the colored television. My name is Delaney Dennis and this is for ESOS 318. The first slide is history of the television, the colored television to be exact. A German patent in 1904 was the earliest recording of television in color. In 1925, a man named Zworykin filed for a patent of an all-electric color system. Unfortunately, both of these did not work out. And in 1928, demonstrations of color TV had been seen around in Scotland. In 1940, Peter Goldmark, who was the head of CBS Research, invented a colored system based off the 1920 designs he had seen from John Baird. By 1950, the colored television system was the national standard, and a national television system started broadcasting in 1953. The system was designed by the RCA, which is the Radio Corporation of America. However, monochrome televisions were still being sold like crazy and colored sets were very rare. Okay, next, this does have a lot to do with after World War II. So, new communities in America became highly populated and people wanted the television sets right away. They were very rich with savings and they were in the mood to spend money. This means they did not care to wait around for colored sets to be available. They would have had to wait for the government to come out with a colored standard in developing. Then they would have had to wait for manufacturers to create the actual colored TV and start to sell them on the assembly line. So FCC saw no reason to open up the proceedings of the public having colored systems, so no action was taken further with CBS. This means CBS had time to improve the colored system they had developed. It was noisy and bulky, and it still flickered a little, and it had color blurring, but this ended the mark of the invention phase that had started in 1935. In 1946, the RCA demonstrated a new color system with 3 primary colors that had a good color production. Okay, so the impact. It took a while to impact the society, since I had mentioned before, people just wanted a TV in general. They didn't care that it was colored. They didn't go out of their way to beg for a colored TV. So it wasn't until the 1960s till colored television was fully out. People were so used to the idea of the black and white television that there was no substantial urge for the color. Since color was a factor now, the whole process of creating shows and movies had people focus on more intricate processes of creating the movies or shows. The typical family would save to buy a color TV. People all wanted it, and it gave something for people to look forward to and to work hard for. Many people, while doing research, said that the first time they viewed the colored TV with their family and themselves, that they were all in awe, they all were shocked, and they all were so happy and didn't know how they lived before. So it symbolized innovation, and it was a huge experience. Many companies started to advertise in different ways by using specific colors to reach their audience, or showing, for example, in car TVs, you could see rows of beautiful colored cars, and it made them earn for the same type of vehicles. Color was also more receptive to the viewers, and it enhanced the perception of advertising. Okay, so how the colored TV was disruptive. As mentioned before, the way producers made movies and shows dramatically changed. Much more effort went into the wardrobe and the look of the scene and the characters. For example, they used to use darker lipstick in black and white films because darker makeup was more visible. Now makeup artists and fashion artists had to change up their whole techniques, since their skills would be shown in a whole different light. New effects could also be done in filming, such as making figures or objects seem as if they were lifting and floating, since they could use contrast and color to give those illusions. People spent more time caring about watching films and shows when being able to view them in color. When spending more time viewing the television, people no longer could deal with the slowness and bulkiness of their old TVs. It was no longer tolerated once they had viewed the colored, thin, fast models. Immediately, sales went down on black and white TVs, meaning they no longer served value, and the only people who had them were people who were stuck with them and couldn't afford the colored TVs. Black and white TVs were no longer produced, causing colored TVs to become the new normal. Okay, so what the color TV led to. Once the huge jump was made from the black and white TV to the color TV, the innovations, as you know, did not stop there. People began to improve every little detail about the TVs. TVs were now much more fast and no longer lagged and flickered. The resolution was clear and picked up every little detail. Colors were no longer limited and they had all different shades. Every color was also brighter and better. Flat screen TVs are now the norm and give a more modern and sleek feel. TVs are now massive and they come in different sizes. For example, people who love movies now enjoy going to a movie theater where they have enormous TVs or projectors that make watching a movie a whole different experience than it was prior. Many people, as well as myself, believe that the TV is fleeting. I no longer watch the TV anymore since I have apps like Hulu, Netflix, and other streaming services all on my iPhone or computer. It, for me, is much more practical to view these on a transporting device. TV programs that people once paid for, like Stars, have gone down in sales because of the rise in people using Netflix and Hulu and systems like that. In conclusion, the color TV was a whirlwind of experiences. It changed the way we think and experience movies and television shows. Looking back, most of society, as well as myself, does not even know what a black and white television looks like. We're so used to viewing everything in color, and I can't imagine it otherwise. So that just shows that things every day continue to change, whether we notice or not, and innovations will never stop. And when innovations come, things will never stop being disruptive that were highly used before then. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one.